اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. The Youth Valley translation, assessing refuge and life from the influence of Satan in my life. With the name of Allah, merciful Redeemer, merciful benefactor, all praise is due to Allah and Allah alone. Merciful Redeemer, merciful benefactor, master of all the systems of knowledge. Lead we worship and thy aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, not those who go astray nor incur thy wrath. Amen.
Amen. Great. Thank you so much, Brother Fleming.
Allah.
We'd like to welcome all of those who are joining us. This is MAP5 on September 22nd, 2025. We have a great program for you today. I believe we'll have a lot of interesting information that is shared. We have a special invited guest from the organization Friends of the Congo that's headquartered in Washington, D.C., Carrie Crawford, Esquire, and she's with us. And my co-host, Fleming El-Amin, the current president of American Coalition for Good Government, the Honorable Cheryl Sudduth, who is a director with the East Contra Costa County Water Board, among many other titles, political activist, advocate. And I see we also have Brother Ismail Fahmy with us, who is a regular participant with our broadcast and the program manager from American Muslim 360, Munira Habil is with us right now also. So we know more people will be coming into the mix here. I'm Amatullah Alaji-Sabrie, co-host, and we'll be facilitating the conversation today. As normal, our practice, we usually start with an icebreaker just to kind of find out where, and sometimes it's dangerous to find out where the thinking in the heads of the co-hosts and the participants are. But we're brave. We just keep on keeping on. So Cheryl usually facilitates that. Do you have any unique Cheryl Sudduth icebreaker for us today? Honorable Cheryl Sudduth.
Hola, 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 hola.
Hola, hola, hola.
Assalamualaikum. And
Waalaikumsalam.
it is Hispanic Heritage Month. And it started last Monday, but I'm gonna say it every week. And we started out our beautiful day here on the West Coast, Base Coast, shaking and quaking.
Yeah.
Shaking and quaking.
Early this morning.
Early this morning. It was 2:57 a.m. I was like, who is slamming doors around here? That photo fell from the little ledge and hit me in the head. And I was like, okay, did I miss prayer? Did I miss prayer? I'm up.
Oh, man.
To tell you. Okay, so quick story, then I want to ask you guys a question. All right, so the dogs and the animals, they know things. They know things. They know things we don't know. And they have been acting up for the last few weeks. They've been acting up. They just been just especially early in the morning, like between, when the people sleeping, they just be acting up. So between like 2 and 4 in the morning, they out there howling and just like restless and then it's been drizzling, and then it's hot, and it's cold, and then it's hot, And then you guys know I'm a scientist, so I have this thing that when it's like this, where the weather keeps shifting drastically, I was telling people last week, I said, this earthquake weather. And they're like, ah, sis. I said, I'm telling you right now, it's earthquake weather. And they were like, well, the meteorologist said, I said, you talking about the people that homie fired? Homeboy fired all the meteorologists. So they about as good as telling you when your patty done on a grill. I don't trust them. We Creole and native people. We trust the animals. And like my grandmother said, the only way I'm gonna know it's gonna rain. Hold on a second. Let me ask my right knee. How's the weather today? Let me ask my arthritic hand. Do I need my raincoat today? That's how we know native and Creole people. And we gonna listen to the animals and we gonna listen to the ground. Put your ear to the ground. Huh. Let me see. So when the deer kept running down, we live near the reservoir. The deer kept running down, and then the mountain lions were just standing in the clearing. And when I came home the other day from the airport, and the little snakes were slithering down the asphalt. You know, they like the grass. They were slithering down the asphalt. I looked at him, he looked at me, he just kept going. He wasn't scared of me. I was like, okay. And so when they kept doing that, so when the earthquake hit early in the morning, and then I got up, I opened the window, and then right after it hit, it was quiet. It was dark, and it was quiet, like the corner church 2 Thursdays before Communion Sunday. Because you know ain't nobody there. It's like really quiet. It was still, like still. And my brother was like, well, you know, the little animals follow the big animals. And the big animals, they listen. They got the ear to the ground. They got the paws to the ground. They hear everything because God gave them these extra keen senses. And so they follow that. And we just have to trust the animals. And I said, well, we like them. We see them running. We running. We ain't ask no questions. We ain't doing no investigation. we send something off or some dangers lurking. We taking off. We not looking behind. We ain't looking around to see who else is running. We see somebody running. We go in the direction that they're running. We not stopping and gathering things. We might not even tell too many people. You're like, let's go. Well, where we going don't matter. We going where they going. Let's go. We're not investigating why. We're gonna figure things out later when we get to where we're going. Not like some of them other people who they're questioners, they're looky-loos, and there's some same people get wheeled out on stretchers in body bags. My grandmother used to say, you got them tiny hairs on the back of your neck and on your forearm. They have a purpose. You need to trust your instincts. Heed the warning. Run, crawl, hobble, hide, go. So for you today, what is the best advice? See, I had a point, sister out. What is the best advice su abuela, your grandmother, gave you that still keeps you out of trouble today? See, I connected it. That still keeps you out of trouble today. What is the best advice? I told you, mine told me, look here, when that hair on the back of your neck or on your arm start to go up, something not right. And no matter how much you want to trust that person or you want to believe that person, when that hair, you're lying or something is not right. What make you say, Grandma told me this was going to end like this. Abuela said, what's your abuela saying, mommy? Talk to me. What's your abuela say moment? And those who don't know, again, I'm gonna teach you some Spanish. Abuela is your grandmother. Your mama's mama, your daddy's mama, the big mama down the street, the one you adopted, the one who adopted you. What's your abuela moment? Was it the one piece of advice that still guides you today from your abuela? Let's go. Because I'm gonna steal some of these, so make it good.
Well, I won't, I don't know. One that I can say in the public is,
Well, text me that one. Text me. I want that one.
we have
Text it to me.
I have to distinguish.
Text me
The
that one.
one I can publicly say is, it's short, and I say it to my children all the time, and they even gotten to the point where they say it back to me sometimes. And I know she was from South Carolina, so Spartanburg, South Carolina. So I know Fleming has heard this in North Carolina. And it is a hard head makes a soft behind.
Oh, I heard that one. Yeah.
They may
And
not
I
have
guess
used the word
I
behind,
heard
though.
it so much, I'm trying to block out what were the other ones that she said. And I know she definitely told me that one.
You know,
Yeah.
speaking of South Carolina, my parents was from Darlington County, South Carolina. That's where we were born at before they moved to Winston-Salem, of course. And I was born, of course, here in Winston-Salem. But my beloved grandmother had two things. I'll just pick one of them that she would always say. She said, "Boy, have don't always last, and have not don't always last." You
Like
know,
that.
and then she would say, "Every eye closed ain't shut, and every
All
goodbye
right.
ain't gone."
That's right.
Wait, say that again. Say that again.
That's right.
Every eye closed ain't shut, and every goodbye ain't gone.
I like that.
Yeah.
I have to
That's
text
right.
the other one she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta send that to me.
Yeah, I got that one. I got that one too, because
Oh, man, yeah.
okay. Any
I like those.
any of our participants would like to share anything that your abuela, your grandmother, shared with you or is sharing with you if she's still with you?
Yeah.
Um,
And if you see these somewhere else, don't act like I ain't tell you I'm stealing them. So
you can unmute yourself, Munira or Muhammad Sharif. Muhammad Sharif, I saw where there was a birthday announcement for Muhammad Sharif. I don't know if it's for you. There are multiple Muhammad Sharifs, I think, in my contacts. So if you have a birthday, I know that we are happy that you're joining us and that Allah has blessed you with another year. If you want to unmute yourself and share some good old-fashioned grandma advice, I invite you to do that. Sister Carrie Crawford is with us. Sister Carrie, if you want to dip your toe in it also. I know that your grandmother had to give you some good advice because you accomplished some very good things being a co-founder of Friends of the Congo, headquartered there in Washington, D.C. You can unmute yourself. Well, I see Muhammad Sharif has unmuted himself. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad Sharif.
Yo, walaikum assalam. Sister Amatullah and Cheryl and Brother Fleming.
Well,
I don't know who put my birthday out. I'll tell you this sometime. I've been doing this for years. You know, and matter of fact, I don't say anything about my day of birth. I don't have any of my family members last 20, 30 years. We don't even recognize that. I'll tell you why. Usually when I say, what's the big deal about my birthday? That was my mother and father's pleasure. And I just popped up.
Or pop out.
I had no contribution to that. I just popped up. And then I said, that may be one of the problems that we have as Christians and Muslims celebrating these birthdays. I know the Christian they have it with celebrating Jesus' birthday. It seems like some of the Muslims have fallen into that same situation. And I go back in the history, I came to the community in 1972. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad did not celebrate his birthday. He made recognition for Farad Muhammad. Then Imam W.D. Muhammad became the leader. I don't think Imam Muhammad put in emphasis on his birthday. Matter of fact, he had told his community, his people, his family members. I don't think, like I say, he can remember any time Muhammad put in emphasis on his date of birth. So I'm following that tradition also, you know.
Okay. Okay,
You know.
we can respect that, the differences of opinion on
Mhm.
some things. Did you want to share any wisdom from your grandmother?
I'm trying to think right now. My wife is trying to bring my attention to something, but I don't have any recollection of anything. It's my great grandmother raised me.
Okay, well, it could be your great grandmother too. Well, we'll let
Well,
you think about it.
okay.
And
Okay.
do you know how to raise your hand on
Let,
the?
let me ask you a question, Martha, Cheryl, and Fleming. What you your thoughts are concerning what we said about Elijah Muhammad didn't celebrate his birthday. Imam Muhammad didn't make no rest to his. So y'all, what y'all thoughts on that?
Well, interesting. I had a conversation with someone recently, last month, as a matter of fact, about that. Both my son, well, my son, my husband, my grandmother, my sister-in-law, my grandmother, my sister-in-law, both of them were in August. And currently, and my my husband's oldest daughter, her birthday's in August too. So we have quite a few August people. And in August, we were having this conversation. I go, one thing that has helped me has been, I know one of the imams has said that, and I've heard other people say this, that in al-Islam, the position that we go from is that if something is not prohibited, then we can be comfortable that it is acceptable. If it's not prohibited, and sometimes we know some things are prohibited and some things we're cautioned against. And this particular man was saying if something is not prohibited, I mean explicitly prohibited, then we can feel safe that it's all right to engage in that. So for those who really go all out for their birthday or even moderately acknowledge their birthday, I don't see anything wrong with that. Myself, I'm really kind of low key with my birthday because growing up, um, essentially growing up with a single mom and a grandmother, there was not a lot of celebrations of birthdays that I can remember. Maybe when I was younger, but as I got older, no. So I don't have a problem with those who um, acknowledge and celebrate their birthday. And I agree with you. The mother's the one that did all the work. The father may have been holding a hand in the delivery room, but that mother was really on the line between life and death because we know that, and as modern statistics show, especially among African American women, the mortality rate of children and African American women during the delivery process is really epidemic, even though they tamper down on it. So I kind of diverge there, but I look at it as it's an opportunity to thank Allah. Someone acknowledging their birthday is an opportunity to thank Allah, thank God, the Creator, for giving you more time, whether it's a minute, a day, another year, or whatever, more time to be grateful to the Creator for the life that He's given you and His mercy and His blessing, and to acknowledge that. And I think we all have a choice in what kind of way we choose to acknowledge our birthdays too. You know, some people go to the club, some people make extra prayer, or maybe they fast. We don't know. So I don't have a problem with people acknowledging their birthdays. And as far as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I don't know what he did with his family life, if there was any acknowledgement of his birthday. Imam Muhammad, I know that I don't recall him ever publicly making any big thing over his birthday. I have a feeling or a remote memory of someone telling me that in his family life, they may have acknowledged his birthday. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. So I don't have a strong feeling, I guess I would say one way or the other. That's just me. Brother Fleming, you have?
Yes, I'll take 30 seconds. I wrote my letter also in 1972 to 4847 Woodlawn Avenue. And when I came into the community, I knew that, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't put a lot of emphasis on his birthday. He was sort of following the pattern of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who also did the same thing, basically. Even though on Savior's Day, we would give him extra money. And we're proud to give him extra money on Savior's Day. And we look upon that as a badge of courage. Now, Imam Muhammad, when he came into leadership, he's first tried to break us out of that whole personality worship thing. And he wrote several articles on personality worship, trying to break us from that mindset. And so he too also sort of aligned himself with the example set by Prophet Muhammad. I do know personally there was some family celebration of him. And he also emphasized to us early on that family ties are sacred ties, because some of us had almost divorced ourselves from our immediate family because of our orientation in the Nation of Islam. And he was trying to get us back into family unity on a personal level. And so I don't think he would object to us celebrating our families. I don't think he really made it a point. But as a community, your core unit in society is your family. So that family unit has to be hopefully healthy, respectful, and encouraging for your healthy development as a person in society. And Imam Muhammad, just like Prophet Muhammad, really focused in on how do we develop that person to become all he or she can become under the guidance of Almighty God Allah. So I think, as our sister said, if it's not specifically stated in the Sirah or in the Hadiths, a violation, then I think my habit every morning when I do my Fajr prayers to thank Allah for the day, for the morning, and be very specific about it, waking me up this morning kind of thing. That's a personal level. And so when I get an opportunity like this past weekend, I have quite a few grandchildren. So we went down to Charlotte, North Carolina, to be with my granddaughter, one of them, who turned 13, a little teenager. So she had a specific request of us. And so we went out to sort of celebrate and had a wonderful family time with her sisters, her cousins, the whole family unit for the most part. So it's just family fun for the most part. As long as you don't blow it out of proportion and realize that Allah made all of mankind, all of humanity, we're just a part of that. Then if you take it to the next level in the universe, you're like a little speck. So we can't get too proud, but be thankful and be grateful for the opportunity Allah has given you to live in His universe, inshallah. That's my 30 seconds.
Thank you. Cheryl, Honorable Cheryl, you want to respond to Brother Muhammad's question? And then we should be moving on soon. I'm going to acknowledge Amatullah Alaji after you. So go right ahead, Honorable Cheryl Sudduth, if you have any comment.
Yeah, the only thing I have to say is, on my day of birth, I called my mother and I sent her a thank you card. I sent her a thank you card.
Mhm.
I sent her a birthday card because it used to be my stepfather would say, "What's wrong with this girl?" And then he got it. He understands. And I say, I'm the only one of us six who would do it at first until I told my siblings. Now they're trying to copy me, but they don't understand. But because I'm her favorite.
Oh,
And
Oh.
of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? But I think it's because, listen, we all love to be celebrated, and especially with Brother Fleming just saying what, you wake up, you're feeling grateful and thankful for being granted another day to
Yes.
to live in a way that you can accomplish what God has put you here for. So, I think all things in moderation, but all things good. And I think as long as you have the right perspective, I think it's good. I I celebrate, no, I tend to celebrate my children more than myself. It's just something that has always been. I'm not a big celebrator of myself. I should be better at it, but I do celebrate my children and other people more than myself.
Yes.
okay. Thank you.
Can I take 2 seconds? Just 2 seconds.
Okay, just make it two, because
Put on the clock.
Amatullah's been waiting.
Uh,
Go right ahead.
I've been in the living room with my wife 6 times to see life come into existence. All the labor is done by the mother, so I always give my wife something special on all the children's birthday. After seeing physically what she goes through to bring life into the world, so I think it all relates back to Reverence to you on one level. So I'll stop right there.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for that reminder. Allah tells us in the Quran, for those who may not know, one part of an ayat is reverence the wounds that bore you. Amatullah Umrani, you have your hand up. Do you want to make a comment? Take yourself off mute, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, I'm aware of the time now. I just want to briefly share something that happened when it was the anniversary of my birth, and I had gone to Chicago where Imam was speaking, and I was asking a question after his speech, and I mentioned that that particular day was my birthday, and he said, "If I had known, I would have baked the cake." And so it was that song, if I knew you were coming, it would bake the cake. So, and then I went on to my question, and he had a big old, laugh, big old grin on his face. And I went on to ask my question. So I just wanted to share that. I thought someone may get a smile out of that. All right.
Yeah,
And it may give a little bit of maybe clarity to the question the brother had asked. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
thank you so much,
Walaikum
Amatullah, for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's good. And it's those little anecdotes and sharings, I think, that is so important for us to have a fuller vision of the personality of Imam Muhammad, and
Yes.
match the personality with the language and the philosophy, and to help us to grow
Yes.
and fulfill our mission. But I want to move us on to Friends of the Congo. Sister Carrie Crawford, would you unmute yourself, please? And if you would come on camera so we can see your beautiful face. Carrie Crawford is one of the founding members of the organization Friends of the Congo. And we had maybe over the last year and a half, maybe we've had about 2 or 3 different presentations from the brothers and sisters of Friends of the Congo. We first became aware of the organization at maybe it was the 2023 graduation at Morehouse. I believe it was Morehouse. One of the professors there stood up with the flag of the Congo. Students had a demonstration. I believe it was because of the incident in Gaza. And so it piqued my curiosity. What is this Friends of the Congo? Oh, I know what happened. I know exactly what happened. With the students, a professor also in the audience stood and turned their back on Biden and what he was saying. And the brother, Professor Livingston, I believe, on stage, he was the one that held up the flag. And a few days after that incident, that was on a Saturday, maybe the Monday or Tuesday after that, Amy Goodman had the two professors on Democracy Now! And they explained more and they talked about the organization Friends of the Congo. And so we went ahead and we investigated to find out, well, what are they doing? Because I do know that for a tenured professor at a graduation to do anything that deviates from the script, that takes a lot of courage because there's going to be pushback, you can be sure, from the administration for any kind of action like that. So anyway, we've had Maurice Carney from the organization. We've had Carrie Crawford, and we also had Brother Kwame from Friends of the Congo. So Sister Carrie, thank you so much. This is a busy lady. She's in Washington, D.C., having to make her way in between the National Guard and the ICE agents and all of the law enforcement on the streets to keep Washington, D.C. safe. By trade, she is a immigration attorney. So you know she's very busy. But I'm impressed that after 20 plus years, Friends of the Congo is growing and growing and going strong and still active and still working to really educate us and engage us in knowledge and support of the indigenous people of the Congo and their struggle. So, Sister Carrie, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to be with us.
Sister, yes, Sister Amatullah, thank you for inviting us again. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Peace be unto you all. And yes, we are privileged to be here and to be in your presence. Thank you so much. And you're correct. That brother was Brother Livingston. He's
yes.
a member of our board, actually. And yes, it was a brave thing that he did that day. And we really thank him for it.
Yes, yes, definitely. So that was how we were introduced to the organization. And I invite everyone to go to the organization's website where you will learn more about Congo Week and also about an event, Sister Carrie, tapping into her spiritual nature. She was inspired, I would say inspired, to come up with the idea that she has brought into reality with the help of many of the supporters of Friends of the Congo and like-minded people. And so, Sister Carrie, why don't you tell us about the effort that you're bringing forward in October? That corresponds, the month of October is a month that's filled with Congo Week activities. Why don't you tell us about your effort for 2025?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And let me preface that by saying what Friends of the Congo has always been doing is trying to break the silence around the exploitation of the Congo, of the people of the Congo and its resources. And so our main tools have been to mobilize and educate around what is happening in the Congo so that people can understand that the war in the Congo is a resource war. It's not an ethnic one. And that Congo's challenges are both internal and external. But also they are caught in this battle, really for the soul of the heart of Africa. And that is why we must answer the call to support the people of the Congo. And so we've done it in numerous ways. But as Sister Amatullah just mentioned, we feel, we understand and we know certainly that you all know the power of prayer. I always say the Muslim community really shows us what prayer means and how prayer should be utilized as a resource, as a weapon as well. And that is what our thinking is, that we will pray. So the whole concept of the the October 19th is a global day of prayer for the Congo. And we're asking faith groups all over the world, and particularly in America, to set aside some time during that week. We're starting with October 19th. It is a Sunday, and we're starting with that day because the 19th is the first day of Congo Week. And Congo Week will be from October 19th to October 26th, when people all around, for the past, since 2008, we've been doing Congo Week so that people can raise their voices to remember the carnage that is going on in the Congo. This is another effort at that, to raise our voices in prayer so that we can unite in one voice, saying that what is happening to the Congo is inhumane. It is, and it must stop. And the only way it's going to stop if we are unified in our call for liberation and freedom for the people of the Congo. We understand that without political unity, without spiritual unity, without cultural unity, there can be no freedom. And so this is the backdrop from which we are mobilizing this global campaign for October 19th. And we are asking churches, we have about 20 churches who have agreed to support us in this effort, particularly the National Council of Churches under the leadership of Bishop Vashti McKenzie has signed on to support this effort. The Disciples of Christ, the United Church of Christ. We've had a valuable partner also in Trinity United, who has been working with us on this effort for some while. And so we're reaching out to all faith groups and the Muslim community, the Buddhist community, whatever community can lend their voice in prayer to support a free Congo. So that's what it's all about. And we are moving in that direction, and we will be updating people as we go as to the number of churches and other faith groups that have agreed to participate. And through this prayer, we will lift voices all over the country, all over the nations, across faiths, across traditions, and we will pray for healing, we will pray for justice, and we will pray for peace. Now, people may be aware that there was a peace agreement supposedly signed recently under the Congo between the president of Rwanda and the president of Congo, President Tshisekedi. However, we also know that peace has not arrived. And we talk regularly to our partners on the ground in the Congo, and they tell us when peace has come to the Congo, they will let us know. And I will say one of the main pillars of our support for the Congo is to understand that the Congolese are going to save themselves. Even Lumumba said this when in the last letter he sent to his wife, when he said that freedom-loving people all over the world will be at the side of the Congolese. He knew and said then that but it will also be up to the children of Congo when freedom will come. Our job and as we see our challenge is to support that struggle as they build and as they go stronger for peace.
I'd like to highlight one point that you mentioned in what you just said, Sister Carrie, and it is to me the philosophy and the MO, if we want to use that language, of Friends of the Congo as a nonprofit, as an NGO in Congo. We know that often nonprofits, even with their goodwill and intention, they come with their mission and what they see that the people in that area need. But Friends of the Congo, you seem to have a different approach. Can you share with us that approach that you have?
Yes, we have always understood that no people can be freed by folks from the outside. And it is from the inside, from the people themselves, the ones who are suffering every day, the mothers who are being torn apart from their children, the children who can't go to school because of the violence. We understand that it's the children and particularly the women who are suffering the biggest brunt of this violence in the Congo, that it is upon their backs that freedom will ring. They are the ones who are suffering, and we understand they are the ones who know best the way to their liberation. And so our job is to listen and to understand and to provide the support that they're asking us to support, to provide, towards a just peace for the Congo. And absolutely, that encompasses a place in Congo where they can be Congolese and experience and share the wealth of their own country.
Can you
And
be, I'm sorry, can you
yes.
be specific when you say your job is to listen to what they have to say? Practically, how do you do it? How do the members of Friends of the Congo, what is the process that you use to gather the information as far as what do the Congolese people want?
Well, I can tell you the way it has evolved is that we meet Congolese who are living in Congo and people from the Congo who are living in America. And in one instance, I can give you an example of a initiative that came about recently with the Basanja Coalition. Now, the Basanja Coalition came about largely because people in the so-called developed world were talking about how to save the rainforest, how to save the planet from climate damage. But they refused to allow the people, the indigenous folks who were there on the ground, to tell them, to share with them their knowledge from the root as to what they think would be the best solutions for that. And out of that came a idea that we Friends of the Congo should support the people on the ground in Congo, one of the home of the second largest rainforest in the world, that we should help provide a platform for them to tell the world how they should go about helping them to save the rainforest. That is one good example of how we have operated. And there are others, but essentially it's about listening to what people describe and identify as the issue, and then them telling us how they want us to support their approach to the issue.
So can you give us an example, another example, aside from the platform that you provide in terms of saving the rainforest, another issue maybe that the people on the ground, the indigenous people of Congo, have brought forward through your meeting and discussing with them, and how Friends of the Congo has helped to either educate people throughout the world about that issue or provide a platform for that issue to be examined, or any kind of way.
Yes, I can provide you with another example. As I indicated, two of the largest groups who are suffering from the violence in the Congo is affecting the children and, of course, affecting the women. And I will say that you should be aware that we're talking about a nation of more than 100 million people. Congo is the second largest by population on the continent, and women and children, about half of that population, half under the age of 18. And so our focus must also be concerned with how are the women faring, because we understand that the women are the ones who keep the balance. And so one of the projects that we, not just a project, but a partnership that we've had is with this a women's center in the capital of Kinshasa, that was set up to receive and provide support for women who had been victims of the war and children who had lost parents as a result of the war. And so part of that partnership involved with, again, most of the way that we are going to support is providing a platform and raising funds to support the work that the people are doing on the ground. And one of it, in that particular center, which is in Kinshasa, we provide support to help expand the ability of that center to educate women, to help them build skills so they can find ways to support themselves and their children. And so that is generally always going to be one of the ways that we are going to support a organization on the group or group in the Congo, because it's always about building a space where good work can be done. And it's about, with the time and space that we have carved out in this area, generally people know who we are from the Congo. Some people agree with our approach and some don't. But we have found it more effective to always meet organizations and individuals where they are and in the space that they are trying to create. And it also is going to be based on the fact that they are trying to build something for the larger community. And that's always got to be the backdrop. They're building something for the larger community, not just for themselves. And believe me, in the climate in the Congo, you can't imagine how difficult it is for people who you understand, and we understand the difficulties we are living under in this country with all the privileges and benefits we have. But imagine a Congo where you are trying to help your people get better and you are barely able to even feed your own family.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different dynamic. And so when you find the leadership in place who are working towards that goal, you find a way to support them and their programs and objectives.
Another question I'd like to ask you, to go back, what inspired you to work towards the founding of Friends of the Congo? I mean, did you just wake up one morning and say, well, you know what, I think we need an organization for the Congo? How did you come to the idea of Friends of the Congo in the beginning?
Well, I've always been I have always had a connection, I believe, with Africa in particular. And through my relationships with other Africans, particularly Congolese Africans, I came to understand that the challenge of the Congo is critical to the unity of Africa. And that until that and when that is addressed, that is a big part of the reemergence of Africa itself. I believe that is happening, but the question is, How engaged will we be? The people who are working on the ground, they need us, need our support. Of course, we always ask you to invite us or members of our team, Congolese members, as well as ourselves, to come to your organizations and present. One of the biggest jobs is to educate people about what is going on in the Congo. I mean, one part of your opening statement was the fact that you heard more about this year than you've heard in many years. It has been very difficult to break the silence around what's happening there. And so that's been the huge job. So we need to get in front of more people, more particularly faith communities who can share this with your congregations, with your members, so that they will understand and hopefully see why Congo is important to all of us, uh, not just the Congolese. And so we ask you to invite us to your organizations to speak. We ask you to reach out if you have influence among your leadership or in the political class. We ask you to reach out there. And we also ask for your financial support. And anyone who's interested can donate at friendsofthecongo.org.
Friendsofthecongo.org, Friends of the Congo spelled out .org, right?
Correct.
And then also, that is also a resource to go to the Congo Week tab to find out all of the activities that will be going on during Congo Week.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I invited one of our Congolese sisters, Bibi Indala, to be on the
BB,
phone. If she's
yeah,
on,
she's
you
on.
might, we might want
BB,
to have a
want
word
to-
from her. She is
Okay.
Congolese.
Okay, BB, you want to unmute yourself?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for having us today. I don't have much to add because I think Carrie has said it all so beautifully. I have been working with Friends of the Congo ever since I moved to New York City, and that would be around 2017, 2018. And as I can say, and as Carrie has said, I've been able to witness firsthand the impact of Friends of the Congo on the ground. I was able to travel to Congo in 2020, right before COVID, and to visit the center in Kinshasa, and speak and exchange with some of the young people that benefits from the support of Friends of the Congo. All the work is very like grassroots, embedded into the communities, and the agenda or the work is really dictated from what's coming from the ground. So it's very, very important. And the other thing that I really want to highlight, Congo is a predominantly very religious country. With the misery that we've experienced from all the different administration, there's a lot of misery. But when you go there and you speak to the people and you exchange with the people, they just have this sense of resilience. They're happy, they're not defined by their misery, because their hope, their faith is what really drives them from day to day. So it's really like, those are the few things that I wanted to highlight. And of course, like Carrie said, we have Congo Week coming up next month, and Sunday is dedicated to prayer and just coming together and praying for the people.
Thank you, BB. I want you to hold on, BB, because I'm going to come back and ask you a few questions. But Carrie, in your introductory remarks, you made a very profound statement that I think we need to do a deep dive into. You said the war in the Congo is a war of resources. Do you want to expand on that for us?
Yes, well, anyone who has been following the news, I think that just think of this: why would governments be interested in in bringing peace to the Congo? And one of the main reasons that seems to have been cited is the strategic minerals that it represents. And we're talking about the cobalt, the coltan, the copper. I mean, just a multitude. It's a scandal of a blessing how many minerals and how blessed Congo has been with the minerals that lies within the soil. And it's gotten to the point where the people don't matter. It's the minerals that they're looking for. And the reason that they need them, I mean, they are critical. They are precious minerals, but they've been defined as strategic minerals, which
Yes.
means it gives us the right because we need them to take them if necessary. That's what you that's what strategic gets to.
Mhm.
And so this so-called peace agreement that was just delivered was a quid pro quo to speak, saying we'll help you get peace. They didn't define what peace looks like, by the way.
Yes.
We'll help you get peace if you will give us access to your minerals. And let me say, there's been a multi-country scramble for the minerals of the Congo, beginning from the 1800s with King Leopold, all the way through Mobutu, and now down to the day when we do have an elected president in the Congo today. But the same dynamic is in place. Who will control the minerals? And the minerals are essential to our everyday lives. Our cell phones won't run without them. The so-called electric cars and all of this new technology will not work properly without the minerals of the Congo. And so that's why it is a resource war. But what we like to focus on is the wealth of the people. This is what makes Congo great, not just what's in its soul, but the people themselves. And that is what I felt when I was in Congo last year. All of the beauty, yes, it's a magnificently beautiful country, but it's the people, the souls of the people who will not give up on their own liberation, who will not give up on their children and will not give up on their land. And so even though we must know the framework of what we're working with and what we're dealing with, but the bottom line of it is unity among themselves, unity among us who are outside can bring peace to the Congo. And we believe that.
Mhm. Okay, before I go on with more questions, I'll ask Bibi, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we have Michael Hameen has his hand up? I'll go to him if you don't have anything else right now. You can unmute yourself, Bibi.
I'm sorry. I said I don't have anything to add. Sorry. I was
Okay.
muted.
Okay, so Michael.
Greetings of peace to the MAP5 and the guests, Sister Carrie and Sister BB. I'm somewhat familiar with the history of Congo in terms of it, it can't be stressed enough that Congo has experienced genocide for those materials. I mean, in the strongest language, a disrespect for the humanity of the Congolese people has been ongoing, and I see a new spirit developing in Africa in terms of getting out of the tribal focus and more unified focus, as we see President Traore representing, trying to bring countries together, because the stronger unity enables them to fight off the oppressive Western land grab and grab of those materials that you mentioned, Carrie. So my question is, what kind of support do we have from individuals that, I'm going to put it this way, the big big pocket people, because if we don't have the resources to help in this struggle, well, then we have to be extremely organized to get results. Your thoughts?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We have to be extremely organized, and I can tell you, um, that has been part of the struggle for many, many years. We've never been able to. We understand that the people with the big money, as you describe them, they don't want us to succeed. So why would they support our efforts? We don't expect to succeed by the monies from the big people, from the big entities, because they're tied too much on control of the minerals. That's what their focus is. It is not the people of the Congo. And so we understand that we are our own best allies, and we can band together. Unity, I think, is the cause, because you don't have to have $1 million from every person to fund a movement. What you need is understanding and a willingness to contribute something. Small donations lead to greater results. And that's what we have seen over time. Of course, we would be more than happy to receive $1 million if somebody wanted to give it to us. We certainly would know what to do with it. However, that is not, if we had to wait for that, we would not be here.
Yeah.
And we're not going to wait. We're going to continue in the best way that we can with the resources that we can gather. And as you said, we have seen the spirit of people reaching out for African growth, for African emergence, re-emergence. We feel that as well. And so we think that will take us, as we mobilize, as we educate, as we raise funds, it will take us to the next space we need to be in. And that's what we intend to continue to do.
Thank you, and please give us a chat
Let,
information where we can donate.
let me see if I can do that.
Thank you.
And also, before I forget, I want to say that the best advice I've gotten that I can remember right now from my grandmother was, she said, "Child, all that glitters is not gold." And Lord knows, ain't that true for the Congo?
Sure, sure. Let me kind of follow up on what Michael brought forward in terms of support. He talked about the big money people. What type of support, if any, has your campaigns and interests for the liberation of the people in the Congo received from Congressional Black Caucus, the various representatives in the House of Representatives and the Senate? Have you received any support in terms of legislative action or concern as far as U.S. foreign policy?
Well, that's kind of difficult to say. There has been, unfortunately, the most recent legislation that has come about has related to how they're going to respond to the critical mineral situation. And as you're aware, or you might be aware, the last legislation that came out of the Senate, out of the Congress itself, was back when President Obama was the president, and a bill was passed which set up a dynamic which required actually that for outsiders who would interfere in the internal affairs of the Congo and promoting violence and promoting war, that we as the United States, would have to withdraw resources, would have to withdraw support for, financial support. And that happened, that law has only been loosely applied, and it really hasn't been that effective in terms of changing the dynamics of the situation in the Congo. And so, although we are always reaching out to our policymakers, because this is U.S. policy is a big has a big foot in this area. What we understand is that the U.S. policy is going to be driven by U.S. interest. And right now, U.S. interest is in maximizing profit over people, primarily. And the fact that this whole peace initiative is around a quid pro quo for access to the minerals tells you all you need to know about the legislative situation. Now, I know there have been some recent developments in terms of individual Congress people who are making inroads, who are taking up to understand better the situation in the Congo and to address it in more progressive ways. I just can't give you the details of that right this moment, but there have been some development, but by and large, the political class lies with supporting those who will control access to the minerals. And that's where we are right now. But we are always working. That's why we are always looking to educate our local politicians. And that's where I would recommend we start. Find out if your local congressperson, your senator is aware, and ask them, what is your position on the Congo? Because it will be interesting, their answer to that. They may not even be aware that may not be in their area, in their sphere of influence, but they at least should understand what the situation is there. And if they are your representative, you can make them aware of that.
Your prompt seems incomplete.
Okay, so here in California, I should, the East Bay, I should speak with our representative, Latifah Simon.
Exactly,
I should speak
exactly.
to Senator Padilla to find out where their heads are in terms of the Congo.
Absolutely.
They see.
That's a fair question. I mean,
Okay.
it is relevant to us and is relevant to Africa. So they should have a position on it.
Let me pivot for a moment to my co-host, Honorable Cheryl Sudduth. I'm gonna go to you first because you're very active. And you just returned back from DC. I think it was the Hispanic caucus that you may have attended their meetings. What would you suggest, Cheryl? Maybe that we can start educating members of our community on the best way to approach, as Sister Carrie has suggested, our representatives, our local Congress people, our local senator, to find out what if they have any policy, any interests, any concerns, as far as the Congo is concerned. Any suggestions?
Yes, I think the first thing is, well, two things. I think the first thing is getting educated on what the issues are, number one. Two is to go to their websites to see if they have any policy documentation on Africa as a whole, and then Congo specifically.
Mhm.
Because just asking for the Congo, you're going to get back a response. well, we've taken a position on Africa, right? And that can get you down a almost, well, we've taken a position on Africa. And so you want to make sure to see, okay, so you can say something like, thank you for speaking out against injustices on the continent. Have you thought about? Do you know? Are you aware? But I would also say that in addition to looking at issues about the continents, see if they've taken any other issues on human rights issues anywhere else in the world. Because if they've taken human rights issues in Ukraine, in Central Asia, Japan, uh, any of the Koreas or any place else in South America and Central America, in parts of Europe, if they've taken issues on human rights issues anywhere else, you can use it as leverage to go into a conversation that says, I've noticed that you have a pretty robust policy in area X. Were you aware that these same type of issues are being faced by the Congolese? So we came to talk to you about, and then have a sample policy with you when you go in. The worst thing you can do is go into a legislator's office and want them to do something from scratch or want them to be some kind of vanguard. They're not that brave. They're not that brave. You want to go in and say, your colleague, senator, whatever, representative, whatever, city council person, whatever, has agreed to sign on to this very same policy. We pulled these off of their website, or we presented them with a very similar policy, and they are co-sponsors of this. Again, I know it seems like you're holding someone's hand, but most of them, they're just not that brave. So you want to speak to their and you're not going to get to them directly. So you want to speak to their legislative director who's in charge of human rights issues. And I'm going to tell you, because I was listening very carefully, Miss Gary, go from the environmental rights issue, the environmental injustice issue, because everybody else is going to come in with bombarding them with civil rights, human rights, and those kind of issues. But this is an environmental justice issue, because you said that this is regarding the pillaging of natural resources. Nobody likes to be called a thief. Nobody, whether you're Republican or Democrat or independent, no one likes to be called a thief, and no one likes to be accused, whether it's around the corner or straight on, of pillaging from the land. And the result of it is not just environmental injustice, but the social justice ills that comes from it, right? Especially when you're dealing with people who pride themselves in, oh, but we made this deal. It was a fair deal. So what you want to do is go and also look at what are their environmental chops. What have they said? What are their business chops? So if you're dealing with people who are a little more conservative, they don't care about the environment, they care about making a good deal. So what do they have in their portfolio for deal making, right? And so if you can make them feel some kind of way that this was not a good deal, this was not above board, that this was this is going to be seen, if it ever got out in the public, as if it was thievery. It was that they were going to be made to look like a bad business person. That's on that side. But on the other side, if they signed on to something that makes them look like they're environmentally unjust, that they were treating the people and the workers unjustly, right? People who pride themselves in being environmental stewards, and now you are doing something that is quite the opposite of being environmental stewards and quite the opposite of being fair-minded and labor friendly. And people pride themselves in being socially aware, and now you are doing something that's anti-human rights, anti-social justice. Whether it was your intention or not, that is the end result. So there's homework to be done. You can't just walk into the legislative office with your feelings. I know this is hard for some people, but I want to tell you because I do this a lot. I'm getting ready on tomorrow to make my I think this is my dozen trip to DC. I just finished the 11th one last week and I'm headed back tomorrow for Black Caucus. They don't care about your feelings. They don't. They don't care about your feelings. Miss Crawford, you
So
live there,
true.
you know. They don't care
So
about your
true.
feelings. They don't care about your emotions. They don't care about the emotions of the issue. They care about the ROI. What's the return on investment on and Fleming, you know this, brother Fleming, you know this. What's the return of investment if I do what you're asking me to do? If I make these investments, what am I getting in return? And even if I get in return positive press, if I get in return, sometimes there's no money. So when I say return on investment, you guys, I'm not saying it's always money. Sometimes it's that I'm getting this really positive press because I'm running for office again. And remember, every one of these representatives are running for office again. Half of the senators are running for office again. So even if I'm going to get positive press, or I'm up for an award, and this is going to help me get this award, or my company is getting ready to go public and I can't afford negative press. So you got to think like the person on the other side. What is their pain point? What is their pleasure point? And you got to always push the button on the pleasure point, and you got to stay away from whatever is going to be. When I say pain point, I mean, that shock, that was going to shock them and what's going to pull them away from you. And that's up to you to figure that out. So when you're in a meeting, I always try and go to a meeting with someone else where when I see other people book a meeting and I ask them, even if I have nothing to do with them, I say, do you mind if I sit in on your meeting? I try and go early when I have a meeting at 2:00 and I ask the staff, I say, is there a meeting booked before mine? And they say, oh, yes, the American Pig Farmers Association. Now, you guys know I'm a vegan. I don't care nothing about no Pork Farmers Association. What I do care about is what the pork farmers are saying to the committee in front of me. So I I said, well, what time is that meeting? Well, your meeting's at 2:00. They come in at 1:15. Okay, thank you very much. Do you have the number of the person who is leading that meeting? Yes. Can you tell me his name? I think I know him. I'm giving you guys game. Am I being recorded? Don't be telling my game.
Live streaming, so it save it all
Yes.
up.
Let me tell my game.
We
Okay,
gonna run with it.
I'm gonna give you my game. So what I do is I go at 1:00 and I hang around and I'm looking for anybody who look like he eat a whole bunch of bacon. I can smell it. I can smell the bacon and the ham, the honey bacon ham. And I'm looking, and then I say, Mike, is that you, Mike? And he looking like, I don't know you. I was like, sir, oh, I'm sorry. What's your name? And he tell me his name. I was like, I mistook you for someone else. Anyway, are you here for the 1:15 meeting with Representative such and such? Yes. You must be from the American Pork Farmers Association. Yes, I am. Are you with this meeting? I am not, but I'd love to sit in on it with you. Do you mind if I just sit in the back and just listen? I'm a student, and I'm a grad student. I'm a scientist, and I just love listening to these meetings. I won't say anything, I promise. I just want to listen. You know why? Anybody want to guess why? Carrie, Fleming, you don't get to answer. I want to hear their pitch. I want to hear their pitch, and I want to see the reactions. And whether it's with the member, meaning the representative or the senator, or their staff, because their staff is taking notes and their staff is asking questions. Now, mind you, I don't have a meeting until 2 o'clock, and some of these meetings only last 15 minutes, some last half an hour, but most of the time it's a very quick meeting. And you get to learn a lot that way. Most people won't do this. Most people won't take their time out because most people, they only want to go in, meet with the people who agree with them and talk into an echo chamber. And when Joe Manchin was losing the favor of all the Democrats, and I was like, I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him because he's the chair of the committee that I need to talk to get money. There's a reason I bring money back to California. There's a reason I'm getting money right now when the administration is not giving money out, because I listen. Mi abuela se llama que mi hija se tiene dos de esos, uno de eso. Usar las cosas que se tiene dos, más de ese que tiene uno. You have two of these and two of these, and only solo one of these. Use the things you have two of more often than things you have one of.
Con mucho gusto.
Amen.
Yes,
Excellent advice.
you listen and you observe more often than you speak. Becky, come in. More often than you speak, and you will succeed more often in life. So there's the advice. There's the advice from mi abuela, and there's the advice I give to you. So
Real-
there's what
Well taken.
I wanted to say to you guys on that subject. So, sister, I hope I answer your question.
Real game.
Very good information. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Fleming, you're up for your 5 seconds.
Yep. All right, here's my 5 seconds. First, thank you for the presentation, Mr. Carey. I've been going to DC for about 10 years talking to representatives and senators on specific issues. And this is what I've learned. Have a drafted policy in hand and a solution in hand when you go to those meetings. Because on the average, you have about 15 minutes, and I always go with someone. And I let them be prepared to answer questions they might have about your position, but I let them explain to me what their position is first in that committee structure. Are they just carrying water back to the representative? Are they making decisions themselves? Generally, it's just an administrative assistant whose job is that specific area that you're trying to address. Every now and then, you will get the senator, every now and then the representative. But on the average, you walk into that meeting with an ideal policy draft that you would like for them to support with their vote and have some solutions to the problems that you have brought to their attention. It's far more effective that way. And like I said, I've been going to DC for about 10 years now, plus talking to all kinds of senators who didn't agree with me, some that did. A lot of time they don't, but at least I get into the office and present my position with other people, and they'll know who my position is and what we'd like for them to support. And I usually ask them, can we count on you? If not, we appreciate you being honest with us, because you want to maintain that relationship long term. The overall objective is maintain the relationship, because they may not agree with you today, but if you keep the door open and you come back in, they may agree with you the next time you come to the office. So draft out your proposal you'd like for them to agree to, have some solutions, and leave them with a fact sheet on the issues. Because you're really lobbying with facts that most of those offices have no idea of those realities taking place on the ground. So leave them with a fact sheet. And I'll conclude with, I worked very closely with South Africa to free Mandela on the whole apartheid issue in Washington, D.C. years ago. And we had companies specifically that we boycotted because they were doing business in South Africa. My question would be, do we have a list of companies that are extracting minerals from the Congo that are using those minerals in those cell phones, et cetera, that we can bring our pressure on, either in America or in Europe for that matter? I think I've used up my 5 seconds.
Definitely. Apple,
Tesla,
Samsung, Tesla,
Dell.
Okay.
All of them.
Okay.
All of
There
them. Yes.
have been at least 2 lawsuits that have been filed. One against Tesla and Apple was just maybe a year. Last year was dismissed because they could not prove connection, the connection to the source of the of the violations that were alleged were not sufficient. And so there are people who are working from the legal perspective, and they are continuing that. The plaintiffs in those cases were people who were harmed working in the mines. So that aspect is ongoing. Also, there is a draft, there is a letter online at Friends of the Congo that we have prepared for that can be edited for your particular Congress folks. But there is one online and likely would need to be updated to address your particular representative.
Mhm. Well, I would recommend in North Carolina, Representative Dr. Alma Adams, uh, who represents the 12th district. She's very much in touch with her constituents, so I'm sure she would be receptive for this kind of information. The senators, is a whole different ballgame, but I would still go to their offices. We're bringing one senator home, Tom Tillis, and hopefully former Governor Roy Cooper will replace him going forward. But those who I would appeal to for support for the Congo at this point.
And that state was which state?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, very well. We'll make a note of that.
Okay.
Wow, we have had an excellent conversation, and inshallah, God willing, it will not be the last that we have with Sister Carrie and any other representatives from Friends of the Congo, because we know this isn't a sprint, this is a marathon, and she's been with this marathon over 20 plus years. So we got to be the second, third, and fourth leg of this marathon, inshallah, God willing. Sister Carrie, do you have, and I hope that you stay to the end of the program, because I see that Abdul Wahid is here, and he's going to be talking about an interfaith event in North Carolina, at the end of October, which will be after the prayer. But I would hope that he would engage with you with the celebration and liberation of Sunday for Congo, with the flyer that you see for your organization, and perhaps link with you. He's at Duke with making contacts in that North Carolina interfaith area. So
absolutely,
I want to offer to you anything you want to say before we go to Brother Abdul Wahid, and or if anyone who's been on or part of the discussion and conversation, I'll remind you, if you have a comment or a question, you can raise your hand and I'll acknowledge you after Sister Carrie makes her final remarks.
Yes, thank you. So on October 19, 2025, next month, we will kick off our global prayer campaign with churches, temples, faith groups around the world to take a moment to stand in unity with the Congolese for peace in their homeland. And we expect through this prayer campaign, we will lift our voices to unify one call for peace and a dignified, just peace for the people of the Congo. And that is October 19th. You can you can send us an email at campaign@friendsofthecongo.org. I will also make an updated flyer available to Sister Amatullah, where you can, there's a QR code you can use to scan to sign up your organization if you want to participate. And we will see you during Congo Week, October 19th to the 26th. And be mindful that this prayer campaign only kicks off on the 19th. We will be going forward during the year, throughout this next year, with the prayer campaign. So the 19th is not the only moment or time that you will be able to engage. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And if there are any ma'ams who see this program or who are on the program now, or members of congregations, Certainly encourage your imams in the khutbah on Friday before the 19th. That would be 17th, October 17th, to mention the Sunday launch of this campaign, and also to participate. If you regularly have like a Sunday Ta'aleem session, you can certainly do that. Or even if you have like a Hanukkah session after the morning prayer in the masjid, you can certainly have that moment of remembering the people of the Congo and praying for peace in the Congo. Sister Carrie, if you can, and you and Bibi, do you have any final remarks that you would like to make? I don't want to miss you. You can unmute
No,
yourself.
sorry. No, I don't have any final remarks. I think Carrie really covered everything, and the questions were all very pertinent. And, I don't want to duplicate anything that was already said.
Okay, well, we thank you
Thank you.
for your participation, for coming, and you're welcome to join us again. And I'm sure that we'll have Sister Carrie back regularly to update, but we want to hold ourselves responsible as we hold others responsible and accountable and we've had some good suggestions in terms of, from Cheryl, in terms of approaching our local federal representatives, and we should maybe develop strategy around that and work with Carrie and Friends of the Congo with that. So it's a lot that we can mind, as I encourage all of us to go back and listen on YouTube to this program. It's exceeded all of my prayers for the success of Sister Carrie being on the program. But I do want to acknowledge Brother Abdul Wahid from Duke University. I see your mute is on, that your sound is okay. So Brother Abdul Wahid, you wanted to make an announcement.
Yes, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Before I begin, I would like to mention to Sister Carrie Crawford that I placed my email address in the chat, and if we can be in touch. There is a very healthy interfaith community here in Durham that I'm a part of, that I'm sure would be very interested in supporting the effort. I lay a lot of confidence in that. In fact, for the program that we have coming up, this interfaith recognition of Imam W.D. Muhammad's leadership, we have a very, very unique and very special planning team. It's an interfaith planning team. And one of the members on the planning team, she is the executive director of a religious organization here in Durham called Durham Congregations and Actions. Been a part of it for over 25 years. And she's the executive director, and it's comprised of over 50 various congregations: Muslims, Christians, Jews, Buddhists, Baha'i, and we have very excellent working relationships. So I can certainly set something up with her to perhaps meet with you or have communication with you. I can start email. So if you email me your information, then I will put the three of us in an email, and then we can see where the ball rolls at.
It'll be done.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Again, thank you, my friend, Brother Fleming, my brother first, and then my friend, and Sister Amatullah and the Honorable Cheryl. Thank you all for allowing me these few minutes to be able to announce this program that's very significant to us. This is the 50th Golden Anniversary celebration of Imam W.D. Muhammad's leadership. We have had excellent education, growth because of Imam Muhammad's leadership over the last 50 years. And so this particular program is scheduled for October 30th through November 2nd.
Brother Abdul Wahid, Let me
Yeah.
interrupt you for a minute. Would you try to share your screen? I know yesterday on Study al-Islam, you had a flyer. Would that help you?
I don't know if I have it in front of me right now.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm
I'll look
sorry.
and see if I have it. I'll look and see if I have it. But go ahead. Sorry.
And those dates are very significant by themselves. Typically, the community in association with Imam W. Muhammad, whenever we had conventions, we always began the convention on that Thursday, where most people would be coming in town, etc. And then we would conclude on that Sunday. Well, this year, the 50th year, the Thursday is Imam Muhammad's birthday, which is October 30th. And the Sunday, which is November 2nd, is his mother, Sister Clara Muhammad's birthday. And those of us who know the history, and I won't try to give a history lesson now, but those of us who know the history know that it was Sister Clara Muhammad who got it started for us. She was the one who initiated the first contact with Mr. Farad's language. So we see this as a very significant weekend. So we're going to be honoring the legacy, the language, and leadership of Imam W.D. Muhammad. The theme for our weekend is faith, freedom, and the future. Imam W.D. Muhammad's legacy of thought and transformation. And those of us who have been in association with the Imam, we know that his leadership was very thoughtful leadership. And most importantly, it transformed us in many, many, many ways. From the idea of the Nation of Islam, which was a nationalistic idea, and brought us into the universal idea of al-Islam. This committee, this Interfaith Planning Committee, I mentioned that one of the members is Executive Director of Durham Congregations in Action. We also have about 3 members from the Focolari movement. We have a professor from the Divinity School at Duke University. We also have associates of Imam W. Muhammad. We have a cross section of age, different generations on this committee. And one of the things that we set out to do very intentionally, and that was to plan a program that is highly cost effective, because our foremost desire is to make it possible for as many people as possible to be able to attend and share in this very historical celebration honoring these 50 years of Imam W. Muhammad's leadership. So let me just share with you a couple of things. One, we have a suggested donation, and you can go to Eventbrite and also and be able to see everything for the whole weekend. We have a suggested donation of $50 for the individual and $100 for a family. Now, let me share with you what you get for that so you can have more appreciation for that amount. Friday, Jummah, we'll start with Thursday. And Thursday is an invitation-only reception. And I'm only mentioning it because the capacity is already closed. I'm only mentioning it because on that day, the mayor of the city of Durham is scheduled to give a proclamation, which will be received by Imam Muhammad's daughter, Layla Muhammad, and honoring that as Imam W.D. Muhammad Day in the city of Durham on that Thursday. That Friday, Jummah will be led by Imam Dr. Wazir Ali. Many of you may be familiar with him. He's the imam in Houston, Texas. Very dynamic young man. I could say young because he's younger than me, but he may not consider himself young anymore. But he will be leading the Jummah prayer. And immediately after Jummah, which we'll be having at Al-Razak Islamic Center, is the oldest masjid in North Carolina, and it is in association with our community here in Durham, North Carolina. And he'll be leading the Jummah. And after Jummah, immediately we'll have a luncheon. And that luncheon will be free. They're asking for a donation, but a donation means you give what you can, if you can. But the hope is that people will be able to give something. That evening, we're having at the Divan Center, I didn't mention that, but the Divan Center is a Turkish community here that we work very closely with. And they have agreed to host our cultural night, interfaith cultural night, and that will be at their facility, and that's from 7 to 9 p.m., and that is also free. The cultural night itself is free, and then when you're going to get there and you're going to eat, and you're going to eat for free. On Saturday, we'll be back at Duke University. Well, let me back up. Thursday is at Duke University, and the reception will be at a place called Mary Lou Williams Center. And then on Saturday, we have 2 panel discussions. The first one is at 11 o'clock, from 11 to 12:30, and the second one is from 2 to 3:30, and that will be at the Divinity School on Duke's campus. Some of our panelists will include someone that I'm sure I know Sister Amatullah and Honorable Cheryl are familiar with Imam Fahim Shuaib, who will be one of our guests. Imam Ronald Shaheed, who has been really blessed to produce about 14 books from conversation with Imam W. Muhammad. We also have Dr. Bruce Lawrence, a professor emeritus at Duke University, who was very, very, very much a friend of Imam W. Muhammad. And actually, he wrote a book titled The Quran. And in that book, he had a chapter that actually highlighted Imam Muhammad's commentary on the Arabic expression Rabbil Alamin, when the Imam translated Lord of all systems of knowledge. He have a whole chapter on that commentary of the Imam. And then also we have on that same panel discussing Dr. Mona Hassan. Dr. Mona Hassan is a professor at Duke University of History, but she did something very, very special for our community about three or 4 years ago now. She did the history of Al-Razak Islamic Center, the oldest masjid in North Carolina. She did the history, and she put it up. It was in the lobby of Duke University's main library, Perkins Library. It sat in the lobby for about 3 months. It took up the whole lobby. And if you come to Duke, we'll take you on a tour of the lobby. You'll see how large that lobby is. But that stayed up for 3 months, and it's recorded that 10,000 people per day walk through that lobby. So people were seeing it, and they may just get a little peek. It might go into them subliminally, like a lot of things that go into us subliminally. And later on in life, we wake up to what happened to us 10 years ago in our minds. So the effects of that was very, very great. So we appreciate Dr. Munna. So she will be the 4th panelist, and our moderator for that occasion will be Dr. Bayina Muhammad, who's a professor of history at the historical North Carolina Central University in Durham. The second panel discussion will be led by Dr. Mubai Lo. He will be the moderator. He just recently received the position of chair of the Asian and Middle Eastern Studies at Duke University. Very good friend of this community. In fact, he goes back to Cleveland, Ohio. He was very close to our brother, our friend, our soldier, Imam Clyde Rahman. They were very close. He knew Clyde Rahman very well. He did a piece on Imam Muhammad. He wrote on Imam Muhammad and the history of Muslims in Cleveland as well. He's going to be the moderator. Imam Dr. Wazir Ali will be one of the panelists. Akila Rashid, who is a Duke alum, and she's also a author of a wonderful book, Muslim Marriage Makeover. I'm missing, Reverend Joseph Harvard, Presbyterian pastor here in Durham, North Carolina, who's a very good friend of ours. He's a very good friend. He loved the Imam, and the Imam loved him. In fact, he hosted the Imam twice at his church. And then lastly, there will be a representative from the Focolare who will be on that panel as well. Now, all of that is still free. Saturday evening, we have the local masjid in Raleigh. We'll be at the Nexus, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina. The local masjid there have an annual project where we're building a new masjid from the ground up, and money is coming in very nicely. And at the same time, the plans and everything have been laid out. We have the design and everything, and we have the last stages with the city government to make sure everything is approved. But there we'll be having our annual project team fundraising. Team stand for to establish a masjid. That'll take place that evening. That is $40 because that's the fundraiser. Then on Sunday, to close out the weekend, our hopes is that we're going to also have the Sis Clara Muhammad on it that day because of her birthday in the city of Raleigh. And also closing out will be Clara's Fruit, the screening of Clara's Fruit. The producer of that screening will be there, and there will be a panel discussion with Sister Layla Muhammad, Dr. Rhonda Muhammad, who is a longtime pioneer in this community. Her family, her dad and mom started the community in North Carolina back in the mid-50s. She'll be on that panel, and one of the former students, Sister Nigel McLean, will be on that panel discussion as well. And that too is free. So I can give you my number. I know I've been talking long. You may have questions. I can give you my number, 919-282-7110. We would love to hear from you. We'd love for you to participate with us. We have the hotel accommodations arranged. We have a group rate at the Hyatt House near the airport. It's going to be, God willing, it's going to be a very wonderful occasion.
I did see, Sister Omrani, I thought you had your hand up at one point. Did you have a comment or a question? Amatullah? You need to unmute yourself.
No, I realized that the hand was still up and I was trying to lower it.
Oh, okay. Does anyone else have a question or a comment? I did find the
Fly.
flyer, so I
Okay,
wanted to
good.
pick that up.
Good. I was just going to look for it too. Thank you. Yes.
Anyone else have a question or a comment?
One comment.
Go ahead, Brother Fleming. Go ahead, Brother
All right.
Fleming.
Just encourage the believers and friends to participate in this event. It's very rare when we have a weekend like that to have such esteemed leaders in our community present in one location at such an affordable cost of almost free, plus one contribution toward the building of a masjid. So, alhamdulillah for your efforts, Imam Wahid, and we pray that Allah will give us success in that event.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I was going to say, I mean, you can't beat the price. The suggested donation, you can't beat that for all
Yeah, no, you
that
can't.
you're getting. So alhamdulillah, we pray Allah for the success. And I would also, I know when I've had previous conversation with Sister Carrie, she has mentioned that a majority of the population there in the Congo is Catholic. So any kind of focolare contact that we can make with her organization, Brother Abdul Wahid, we'd really appreciate it. I tried to do one from California. I'm not sure if they follow through, but definitely, I think this would be something that would be of interest to the focolare congregations that we've been in communication and coalition with.
Okay. Now we also are offering a Zoom link primarily for the Saturday event. Person would have to register. And then once they register, when they get closer to the date, we will forward them the Zoom link. And we're too asking them for if they'll be willing to make some measure of a contribution. In fact, the idea for the Zoom came strongly from out there in the Bay Area. Imam Nail Shakur in San Francisco.
Yes.
Sister, she'll kill me if I don't recall her name. Sister Sadia mentioned that if they could get a Zoom link because they would like to participate in that way. So we offer the Zoom link as well.
Alhamdulillah. Can't beat that. Definitely can't beat that. So I see that Brother Michael Hameen has his hand up. You want to?
Yes, God's peace and blessings to you, Imam, and to the audience. Sister Carrie has where to register for the event.
I'm getting ready to respond to her right now. Thank you.
And I just like to say the importance in terms of us aligning ourselves with right-minded people is the remembrance that the Creator is over this process that we're involved in, and we should ask Him for the help to find one another and to get in where we fit in and do our best, whatever skill set we have to bring it to the work. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Brother Amin.
Thank you so much. Let me scan our audience to see if I see another brother, Brother Kevin Cunningham, if he's here. I don't see him. I will. I want to thank Brother Imam Abdul Wahid for the work for that program. It's truly something that's needed and it's affordable. And the panel that you have for the Saturday presentation is outstanding. Just all of it, and to be able to see a screening of that film, Clara's Fruit. It's really, really remarkable what you've been able to assemble for the 50th golden anniversary interfaith celebration. We know, and when we transition from the Nation of Islam, Imam Muhammad, I feel real strong on stepping out and saying that he was the first Islamic leader here in the United States of America, and to those communities that we have outside of the U.S. also, Bermuda and Belize and other places, that led us into a strong interfaith movement. And he was really criticized for that by some who were not blessed with the foresight of that. Especially since so many of us accepted Islam after having been reared and grown as Christians. That was the dominant religion for many of us. So the 50th Golden Anniversary Interfaith Celebration is really the language of your program and the thrust of your program, and all that you put together is just really outstanding. And
thank you.
I definitely appreciate and thank you.
Can I just add one thing?
Sure.
I'd like to add one thing. We felt a unquestionable responsibility to do this. When we first heard about the 50th that we were going to have in Philadelphia, we attended, and I thought it was excellent, but also felt immediately in my soul that that's not enough. Imam Muhammad did too much work for us to just have one big thing and not have things all throughout the year. And then for us, and Brother Fleming can testify to this one. For us in North Carolina, we got a tremendous amount of attention from Imam W.D. Muhammad. I mean, tremendous.
Yes.
Duke alone saw him 8 times. Alone, just Duke. So we felt that it was a moral, social, anything you can think of good obligation was on us to do this. And we know in the area, there's great support for it was great support for what we're doing in the area from the non-Muslim community that knew of and had some measure of interaction with Imam Muhammad over the years, his visit in this area, lots of times. So if we didn't do it, I think I'd have got whipped.
So you would have whipped yourself, huh?
My conscience would beat the heck out of it.
Alhamdulillah.
I think Imam Muhammad spoke to a lot of universities across the state of North Carolina. From Wake Forest University to Duke to A&T State University. I won't go through the whole list, but we were blessed in North Carolina. And for my sister Cheryl, that's why the sun rises from the east and sets in the west. That's between me and my sister. We had that little ongoing competition there. If I could think, Imam's first book was "As the Sun Shines from the East, Even into the West." But let me find my book here. Let's see. Congratulations, brother.
You are asking for it. You are asking.
I know she's going to come back in a minute. She's coming back.
Yeah, I heard Sister Cheryl Fleming. I don't think you want to buy that tree. I heard that. Well, that's
Yes,
right.
yes. Do that. Intellectual banter. I appreciate that.
Man, yes.
Oh, man.
Muhammad Sharif, you have your hand up.
Oh, yes, assalamu alaikum now. We're here.
Alaikum assalam, my Harlem, Bronx, New York, buddy.
Right, okay. Yeah, I'd like to ask you, how can we get the Zoom link?
Well, I'll send you the flyer where you can register.
Mm-hmm.
And once you register, our administrator will send a link out closer to the date.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Good to see you too, even though it's your picture, but I know that's you.
No, Akbar. Yeah, we go back a long way.
Long ways.
Okay. Where in Harlem, brother Muhammad?
Now I'm in Mount Vernon, New York.
Yeah.
Okay, but where in Harlem were you? Did you go to number 7?
Yes, that's where I
Market
came in.
Boulevard?
Yeah, I came to community at number 7.
Okay, in 72, you said? In 1972? Okay, I think I lost him. But anyway.
I was born and raised in Harlem, 4 blocks south of the Apollo Theater, St. Nicholas Projects. I was born and raised there.
Wait a minute, St. Nicholas Projects?
Yes, ma'am.
I lived around the corner from the St. Nicholas
Where
Project.
you live there?
132nd Street,
137 between what?
7th and 8th.
You kidding?
I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I went to St. Aloysius School.
You did.
Okay.
They used to make us go. I went to PS 119. They made us go there for religious instruction. Remember
Yes.
those days?
Wow.
You had to go there.
Wow.
Okay.
This is too
We
much.
got a connection. We got a connection.
I'm feeling that.
Yeah,
So
we got
MAP5, we do all the connecting, folks. We do the connecting.
Yes, we do.
Connect the
That's
dots
right.
and we follow the money.
yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Muhammad, Sharif, you have your hand up again. Did you have another comment or?
Now, just to say, I'm from Mount Vernon. It's about 10 minutes outside of Harlem, New York.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They have a masjid there, Yusuf Shah, right?
That's right. Yusuf Shah. Imam Mazu. Yes, Imam Mullah. I mean Musa.
Musa, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Alhamdulillah.
Mm-hmm.
And which one of the favors of your Lord will you deny? This has been a good homecoming for me. And the conversation with Sister Carrie and the connections with Brother Abdul Wahid and Prince of the Congo. This is fantastic. And I have one more announcement. Also, probably next week, we'll announce it again and have a representative on. Sister Carrie had mentioned our local people. Here for us in the local area, there is a new organization that is forming called Bay Area Muslim Council. And they will be having a program on October 4th, Saturday the 4th, 5 p.m. at the hotel in Fremont, California. Mahdi Hassan, founder of Zeteo, former MSNBC anchor. Josh Paul, who is a former U.S. official of the State Department. He was one of the first to give up his position because of the complicity of America and the Biden administration with the genocide in Gaza. Our newly elected Representative Latifah Simon, who took Barbara Lee's position in the Congress, and Imam Tahir Anwar, who has been an imam and Islamic leader in the Bay Area. So they will be having this program, Strengthening Civic Action and Political Change, empowering hyper-local representation. So that will be a very interesting presentation. And Brother Fleming, I need to talk with you and also maybe Sister Cheryl on this Bay Area Muslim Council, because they are interested in expanding. They're in the South Bay. They're interested in expanding up into the Oakland area too. So maybe Oakland, Cheryl, maybe Contra Costa County. We'll see. I'll get the information. Kevin is going to talk more with me about that, see how we can work in coalition with them, with what they are doing. I think it would be good if we reactivated the ACGG chapter in Oakland and did a coalition thing with them in that way, but we'll see. Inshallah,
Okay.
what direction Allah blesses us to move in. So if that is it, brothers and sisters, let me see. I don't see any other hands. I think that wrap. Muhammad Sharif, you raised your hand again. Go right ahead.
Yes, I see, ma'am. Well, he was a resident ma'am here in New York at one time, right, brother, ma'am?
Yes, in the Bronx, yes. Yes, sir.
Where
Bronx.
where Woody Crest was?
Yeah, where Woody Crest was, it was at Woody Crest after Imam Abdul Haq Muhammad.
Okay.
It was long on Imam. Then I became Imam, and we changed the name to Masjid Taqwa wa Jihad.
Okay, alhamdulillah. All right. I probably know both of you from the 70s.
Well, I'm a 78 baby.
Oh, I left. I left in 75. I went to Chicago in 75. Okay, so alhamdulillah. Imam Abdul Wahid, you want to lead us? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I just got so excited with that New York connection. Any final comments? Any final comments from the co-hosts, Brother Fleming, Cheryl? Any announcement or final comment?
Two quick things. I wanted to commend the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for recognizing the need to have a two-state resolution to that tragedy in Gaza. Also, the leader of Canada. They've both gone on record to support a two-state solution to that effort over there. And since we're doing New York's, stories, I lived Staten Island for a while in Brooklyn when I was a corporate person down on Wall Street. So I do have a little connection with the New York crowd here. This was 76 and 77 era.
We got a big tent. We got a big tent. We got a big tent. Don't worry about it. We got a big tent.
All right.
Okay, sisters, that was your Fleming second?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is Honorable Cheryl Sudduth. Do you have any closing remarks or comments, questions?
Yes, I do.
Okie doke.
Yeah, I'm not from New York.
We could tell. We could tell.
Nope.
Even though you have that Puerto Rico connection, we understand.
Oh man.
New York, not from Nueva York.
Mm.
Not from El Oeste, the East.
The East Coast, I understand. Little Spanish, my friend.
Brother Abdul told you correctly I was gonna get you back. So look here, Brother Abdul, watch this. Look.
Yes, ma'am.
Taking off the earrings.
That means she ready to throw that out. She ready to throw that out.
Put those dupes up.
Listen, don't put your Vaseline on your. Don't put the Vaseline on your, on your hands.
You're taking it too far, Fleming. Taking it too far.
Okay. Oh man, oh my.
There's a saying that says, "No te cama, soy barigua, barigua." And keep calm. Puerto Rican. Not just regular. Puerto Rican. I gave you, like what my grandmother used to say. So there's another one that says, a man has two reasons for doing anything. He has a good reason and has the real reason. I'll let you marinate on that for a little bit. So, and I'm gonna add a twist to it. People live on the East Coast for two reasons. They have the reason they tell you, and then they have the real reason.
Okay.
Those of us who live on the West Coast, on the best coast.
Oh man.
Because we know. We thank you so much for joining MAP5 today. And we say to you, you know what? Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Monday, the rest of your day and the rest of your week. Take time to do something for someone else without expecting anything in return. No spotlight, no pat on the back, no awards. Don't put it on Facebook, social media, TikTok. Don't do a TikTok about it. Don't go telling anybody in your DMs that you did something for someone else. Just do it because it is the right thing to do. I want you to think about that this universal thought that a person often meets his or her destiny on the same road they took to avoid it. I repeat it for you. A person often meets his or her destiny on the same road they took to avoid it. So think about what it is that you're doing each and every day and do something to benefit others. We talked about the Congo today. We've talked about Gaza. We've talked about Yemen. We've talked about something happening in East Oakland. We talked about the Carolinas. We talked about DC. It could be something under your own roof. I leave you with this Cherokee prayer. O great spirit who made all races, look kindly upon the whole human family and take away the arrogance and hatred which separates us from our brothers. Inshallah, stay prayerful, stay politically engaged, stay powerful, stay philanthropic, and we will see you back here next week at 1 o'clock on that East Coast where they see the sun first. 12 o'clock in the Midwest where they get to dine what we meet, and at 10 a.m. on the West Coast where you get to see the best of what's happening. And with that, sister, I hand you back.
Man.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna ask Imam Abdul Wahid to do a closing dua for us.
After you finish this giggling.
And
If
then,
the you know,
then you can take us out.
since our sister has the Puerto Rican flag up, there's a beautiful rainforest also in Puerto Rico. I spent a week down there before my wife's celebrating. So I encourage those that have not had a chance, go to Puerto Rico and enjoy that rainforest, inshallah.
Yes. The Hispanic Heritage Month is the most beautiful rainforest. Sir?
Yes. With God's
Wrap
name,
it for us.
with God's name, the merciful benefactor and merciful redeemer. O our creator, pour out on us patience and constancy. Make our steps firm. Help us to always be sincere in doing this work. Never let our hearts deviate from the path after you have guided us. And make our lights brighter and brighter in the world to help more people see the way. Amen.
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 Thank you so much. And so, sister, what is that?
What is what? Behind me?
No.
No, that's a wrap.
Say at the end.
Oh,
It's,
you ready? You ready? You ready? You ready?
Ready.
And with that, that's a wrap.
Okay. So see you next week, inshallah.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you again. Thank you.
No, he's here. Come. You're from.
Okay. Yeah.